Yes, now I'm back basically with this one. Yes, with part two of my Comic Corner. We're supposed to do this last night, but it got late last night after my stream, so I wasn't able to do it. The only thing I was able to do was to finish up Demon Slayer, and now basically I'm back to this. So, we're still talking about Legion Superheroes Before the Darkness Volume 1. Now, I discussed in the previous episode from 260 to 265, and I talked a little bit about the secrets of the Legion Superheroes. Now we're going to talk about the rest of this trade and, of course, the Spider-Man Epic Collection. Now, in issue 266, basically, it's like, oh, it's return of Bouncy Boy and Do Damsel. Yep. Yeah, first we started off with basically look like a Duo Damsel split up and just create some hype. And of course, like, it's like, ooh, like, okay, he's like, and of course, like, he gives her, like, she gives him a kiss, and he basically like, ooh, good, mouth to mouth, ooh, excuse me, you fraud, and he's like, ooh, I get to steal kiss my wife, and I'm like, you lucky dog. And of course, basically, the whole thing is issue they take on this monster in this ice planet. Let's up a Colossal Boy. Mostly put just basically them contacting the Legion for help. Oh, by the way, that issue was done by Jerry Conway. Yep, it's all Jerry Conway issues. Yeah, so basically 268, 267 basically just two-part lead taking this giant monster that Duodam and Balancing Boy encountered. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then basically we have the backup story of this book, just they were the origins of flight rings. Yep, that's basically what it is. It's the origins of flight rings. And then we have the cover basically used for the trade itself, 268, where they take on this monster, this person with multiple arms. Yeah, and basically from this point forward, it's basically all like giant size issues, basically like 35 pages ish. And by the way, you have Jay and the Mightiest do this issue with Steve Ditko, Lacey Ditko in the artwork. And this is a storyline pretty much consumes the rest of this trade here. And they're going like Alien Planet. They with like very strange cult stuff. Yeah. So there's a log entry. And then, of course, basically, next issue is Return to Fatal 5. Yep. And this is for issue 269. And once they go back to Joe Conway, the writer, yeah, mostly put just another fight between the Legion and the Fatal 5. Oh, yeah, there's a wonderful scene here where you have Mon-El basically with his arm behind Shadow Last, basically, like, because these two are attached to the hip. And, of course, well, yeah, then we have this almighty rematch between the Legion and the Fatal 5. Which, of course, apparently that the whole thing was just a ploy because the real bad guy is the Darkman. Yes, the Darkman. And it continues in 270. I think it concludes in 271. Yep, concludes in 271. Yep. I gotta say, excellent three-parter. And that's pretty much it for that. I've already discussed the Legion book. It's a really good trade. I do recommend people who are fans of Legion superheroes. I'm going to give this book a 10 out of 10. Yep. Next up we have is... Excuse me, we have The Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 6. Epic Collection, Volume 6. The Death of George Stacy. Yep, this trade here, this Epic Collection collects issues 86 to 104. Now, I should point out, though, not all the issues of this book are written by Stan Lee. As a matter of fact, basically, he stops doing issue 100, and the remaining 4 issues done by Roy Thomas, who does issue 106. Before Stan Lee takes back over briefly, and then Jerry Conway takes over for a while. Mostly put in the case of 86, it just basically the debut of Black Widow's second costume, which he still uses this very day. She did briefly switch to different costume names, but mostly put basically, that's the whole point of 86. It's just basically a Black Widow switching her original costume that Jack Kirby designed for her, and have basically John Romita Jr., John Jr. Sr., switch out her costume. That's mostly what 86 serves as. Now, in case 87, Spider-Man's sick and tries to reveal his sickness, but nope, he able to float up because Howie Brown dressed up as him. And then because we have 88, this leads to a 3-parter, which has, get this, it's Spider-Man vs. Dr. Octopus for 3 issues, for 88 to 90. And the big thing with this 3-parter is this is the end of Captain George Stacy. Yep. Now, from what I heard, this is something Stan Lee did approve of. Now, what happened with Gwen, he kind of gave his blessing, but he wasn't very happy with it. Yep, so then basically with 90, they have George Stacy die. And here's the thing. The man stays dead. Yeah, he gets cloned in 2016 with the clone the clone conspiracy stuff, but yeah, he's dead. There's no revival for him. Yep, and then after this, now he is assumed to be the murderer of George Stacy, and then later on, thanks to Blake Tower, he's actually cleared this charge. He actually just an accident. So they have 91 basically deal with like his funeral, and then of course deal with Sam Bullitt. Yeah, this is a quick 2-parter with Sam Bullitt. Yeah, it turns out this guy is a guy running for, I think it's like DA, I think it is, or mayor. And it turns out the guy is actually a bigot. Yep. Yeah, but 92 also has a guest appearance by Iceman. I've kind of discussed this already in the X-Men stuff, but yeah, they have a guest appearance by Iceman when he's basically on break from his Kenny X-Men stuff. Kenny X-Men's on reprints. In 83, just a return for the Prowler. Then 94 is basically Spider-Man taking on the Beetle. While also basically recapping Spider-Man's backstory of how he became Spider-Man. And the whole point of this issue is it's just set up for issue 100. Yeah, so I'm going to London for an issue just to follow Gwen Stacy around. Yep. And then we have issues 96, 98. This 3-parter features a return of the Green Goblin. And it's a very controversial one, to say the least. It's controversial because at the time, these issues were the first issues not to feature the Comic Code seal approval. Because at the time, any story like this had to go through their filter. They did not want. They turned Stan Lee down, but he wanted his editing published anyways. And this 3-parter changed the Comic Code seal approval. They basically, changed their ways. It's 3-parter dealing with drugs. That's simple to do with it. Yep. And it basically got a lot of praise, this one. And like 9100, basically Spider-Man just dealing with like hallucinations. And that leads into stuff with Morbius, his debut. For the next couple of shows with Elite the Lizard. And then he had the last couple of issues deal with Spider-Man Gwen, who was a reconciled. Excuse me. At this point in time, basically taking on the guy called Gibbon and Kraven Hunter. And also, Kraven wanted to make Gwen his mate, despite the fact later on in the 2010s it was retconned he was actually married. Yeah. But excellent issues. I give this Epic Collection a 10 out of 10. Yep. But yeah, that's particular view. Next up is going to be, well, probably more Kamen Rider. Okay, bye.